Summary of the novel, The Great Gatsby. Author, Scott Fitzgerald. Chapter 1, Introduction and Setting, 1922. Nick Carraway, a 29-year-old man from Minnesota, moves to West Egg, Long Island, in the spring of 1922 to work in the stock market. He rents a small house in West Egg, a neighborhood filled with newly rich individuals and their extravagant but less refined mansions. Near Nick's home is the lavish mansion of Jay Gatsby, a wealthy and mysterious man known for hosting weekly opulent parties that attract hundreds of guests, most of whom he does not know personally. West Egg represents the ostentatious new wealth, in contrast to East Egg, the enclave of old-money aristocracy, where Daisy Buchanan, Nick's beautiful and charming cousin, resides. Daisy lives with her husband, Tom Buchanan, a former Yale football star, arrogant, crude, and once a classmate of Nick's. Tom displays racist, conservative, and patriarchal views during conversations, creating a tense atmosphere. During dinner, Nick meets Jordan Baker, a professional golfer and Daisy's close friend, who has a cool demeanor and a skeptical attitude. Jordan reveals that Tom has a mistress in New York, a fact confirmed when he takes a phone call during dinner. Daisy leaves the table looking sad, adding an undercurrent of unease to their stately home. After dinner, as Nick returns home, he sees Gatsby, his enigmatic neighbor, for the first time, standing alone on the lawn, reaching toward a green light across the bay where Daisy's mansion is located. This image sparks deep curiosity in Nick and marks the beginning of a story about dreams and reality, love and disillusionment. Chapter 2, The Valley of Ashes and an Illicit Affair. One day, Tom invites Nick to New York. On the way, they stop at the Valley of Ashes, a bleak industrial area covered in gray dust, symbolizing the moral decay of American society. Here, they visit the garage of George Wilson, a poor mechanic, and meet Myrtle Wilson, George's wife and Tom's mistress. Myrtle is a voluptuous woman eager to climb the social ladder. Tom quickly takes her and Nick to New York. They go to a small apartment Tom rents for his rendezvous with Myrtle. Myrtle invites her sister Catherine and the McKee couple to join the drinking party. The atmosphere grows chaotic with shallow conversations, heavy drinking, and haughty attitudes. Catherine shares rumors about Gatsby, suggesting he was a spy or a nephew of the German emperor. Myrtle brags about her relationship with Tom in a crude manner and repeatedly mentions Daisy, infuriating Tom. He strikes Myrtle, causing her nose to bleed. The party ends in disarray, leaving Nick feeling alienated and disgusted by the deceitful, indulgent lifestyle. Chapter 3, The Party at Gatsby's Mansion. Nick receives a rare invitation to a party at Gatsby's mansion, as most guests attend uninvited. The party is a grand spectacle, with lively jazz music, endless alcohol, and animated conversations. Guests from all walks of life, from the newly rich to old-money elites, mingle in the festive chaos, though many do not know the host. Rumors about Gatsby circulate wildly, that he is a murderer, a spy, or some mythic figure. Nick unexpectedly meets Gatsby, a refined man with a warm smile and polished manners. Gatsby shows particular friendliness toward Nick, calling him old sport and engaging in sincere conversation. He briefly shares details of his life, claiming to have studied at Oxford and been a war hero. However, Nick senses something inauthentic in Gatsby's storytelling. After the party, Jordan reveals to Nick that Gatsby had a deep romantic relationship with Daisy years ago and hopes Nick will help arrange a reunion. Meanwhile, a vague romantic connection begins to form between Nick and Jordan, though it remains undefined. Chapter 4, The Love Story of Gatsby and Daisy. Gatsby invites Nick to lunch in New York and shares more about his past. Born into a poor family in North Dakota, his real name was James Gatz. His life changed when he worked on the yacht of millionaire Dan Cody, learning the manners of the elite. After World War I, where he served as an officer and fought in Europe, he enrolled at Oxford and always harbored a dream of success to become worthy of Daisy, the woman he loved while stationed in Louisville in 1917. Gatsby admits he bought the mansion in West Egg to be close to Daisy. The lavish parties, dazzling lights, and music were desperate attempts to capture her attention. After lunch, Gatsby introduces Nick to Meyer Wolfsheim, a shady figure tied to the underworld and implicated in fixing the 1919 World Series. This hints that Gatsby's wealth may not be entirely legitimate. Jordan later tells Nick more about Gatsby and Daisy's past relationship. While Gatsby was serving on the European front, Daisy married Tom, leaving Gatsby with a burning desire, not only to win her back but to reclaim their idyllic past. Nick agrees to help Gatsby arrange a meeting with Daisy at his house, setting the stage for their reunion. Chapter 5: The Reunion at Nick's House. Gatsby arrives at Nick's house on a rainy afternoon, filled with nervousness and anticipation for the fateful meeting with Daisy. He arrives early, meticulously adjusts his appearance, and constantly checks the time. When Daisy enters, the atmosphere is tense, she is flustered, and Gatsby is awkward and hesitant. However, after the initial awkwardness, they gradually rediscover their familiarity. Nick quietly withdraws to give them privacy. Gatsby invites Daisy and Nick to tour his mansion. In the soft afternoon light, Gatsby shows Daisy through the rooms, displaying his collection of shirts, expensive decorations, and manicured gardens. When Gatsby tosses shirts across the room, Daisy bursts into tears, overwhelmed by emotion. She realizes what she has lost, a sincere love left behind in the past. Gatsby points out the green light across the bay, which he has gazed at for years as a symbol of his dream in Daisy. This moment is the closest Gatsby comes to realizing his complete dream. From then on, they meet frequently. Gatsby stops hosting large parties, opting instead for private evenings with Daisy. He confides in Nick that he hopes Daisy will leave Tom and return to him as if nothing had happened. Gatsby's dream is not just to reunite but to restore the entire past, an obsession that blinds him to reality. Nick begins to see that Gatsby's idealization is leading him toward disillusionment, but he still respects the intense love Gatsby has for Daisy. Chapter 6: Confrontation at the Plaza Hotel. Reality begins to clash with the dream as Tom grows increasingly suspicious of Gatsby and Daisy's relationship. On a sweltering summer day, Tom, Gatsby, Daisy, Jordan, and Nick head to the Plaza Hotel in New York. In the stifling room, a confrontation erupts as Tom accuses Gatsby of pursuing his wife and mocks the origins of his wealth. Gatsby, filled with emotion, insists Daisy never loved Tom, but Daisy cannot fully confirm this. She admits she once loved Tom, shattering part of Gatsby's dream. Tom continues his attack, revealing to Daisy that Gatsby amassed his wealth through bootlegging, further unsettling and frightening her. Pushed to her limits, Daisy chooses to leave the hotel with Tom, while a devastated Gatsby returns to West Egg. On the way back, Daisy, driving Gatsby's car, accidentally hits and kills Myrtle Wilson, Tom's mistress, when she runs into the road. George Wilson, Myrtle's husband, is devastated and only knows that the yellow car belongs to Gatsby. Nick, Jordan, and Tom arrive at the accident scene. Tom immediately manipulates the situation, letting George believe Gatsby was driving. Nick senses Tom and Daisy's callousness, as they consistently let others bear the consequences of their actions. A dark atmosphere and harsh reality overshadow Gatsby's beautiful dream. Chapter 7: Gatsby's Death. After the accident, Gatsby clings to his faith in Daisy. He stays up all night, keeping watch outside the Buchanan mansion, fearing Tom might harm her. He tells Nick that Daisy was driving but says he is willing to take the blame. Gatsby still dreams that Daisy will leave Tom, call him, and they will start anew. But the phone never rings. Nick, the only one still caring for Gatsby, senses the emptiness enveloping his friend. Daisy makes no effort to contact Gatsby after the incident. Meanwhile, George Wilson, broken and deranged, is led by Tom to believe Gatsby was both Myrtle's lover and the driver responsible for her death. In a frenzy, George goes to Gatsby's mansion, shoots him while he is swimming in the pool, and then kills himself. Gatsby dies alone, still reaching for his unfulfilled dream. His death is a tragic end to a distorted American dream driven by ambition and illusion. Nick is shocked and heartbroken. He tries to contact those once close to Gatsby, Daisy, Meyer Wolfsheim, the partygoers, but all avoid him. Only Gatsby's father, Mr. Gatz, arrives from Minnesota, bringing an old notebook filled with his son's plans and ambitions, a testament to his drive to rise above. Among the crowds who once reveled in the lavish parties at the mansion, only Owl Eyes, who once admired the authenticity of Gatsby's library, attends the funeral, a rare voice of empathy. The funeral is sparsely attended, with only a few present. Nick feels an overwhelming sense of loneliness and emptiness surrounding everything. Chapter 8, Conclusion and Nick's Departure. After the funeral, Nick meets Jordan again. She blames him for distancing himself, while he realizes he no longer feels anything for her. They part ways quietly, leaving an unspoken void between two people who once vaguely entertained the idea of a relationship. Later, Nick encounters Tom by chance. Tom casually admits to pointing George Wilson toward Gatsby's car and expresses no remorse. This act solidifies Nick's disgust for the selfishness and irresponsibility of the elite. Nick decides to leave Long Island, ending a tumultuous summer. Before departing, he visits Gatsby's abandoned mansion, once alive with lights and music. Standing alone by the bay, the green light across the water now just a memory, Nick realizes that Gatsby, despite his delusions, was the only one who believed in an ideal, a dream beyond reach. He concludes the story with reflections on America, where everyone chases their own dreams but often gets swept into a vortex of materialism and deceit. The image of Gatsby reaching for the green light lingers in Nick's mind, an eternal symbol of aspiration, loss, and the harsh truth of the American dream.